So Newcore Gold, we're advancing the Enchi project in Ghana. It is a district scale exploration project that's fundamentally underpinned by very robust economics that we put out in a 2024 PEA with district scale exploration upside layered on top of it. As all of us, we will be making forward-looking statements. I would also encourage you to go to our website and look at the various presentations, material we have on there. I'd also encourage you to follow us on social media. First and foremost, with Newcore, you've got a management team and board who are truly aligned with shareholders through our 15% ownership in the business. This is stock that we've bought alongside you and other major investors over the last number of years. We do have a PEA, which we're now moving to a PFS in the middle of this year. So there is a true fundamental underpinning of value for the company. And then we are in a jurisdiction, Ghana, which does have a number of multi-million ounce deposits along trend from us. Quickly, my background, I spent the first 20 years of my career on the investment banking side of the business, advising different ASX, TSX, London-listed companies, primarily on mining projects. We also have a very strong board and management team. These are a number of the companies we've been involved in. Newmarket Gold, $10 million company, vended in an Australian asset, sold for $1.4 billion. Calibre started off as a $60 million company, vended in some producing assets, merged with Equinox Gold, and is now a $15, $20 billion company today. So it is a team with a proven track record of creating a lot of value for shareholders. We do have a good capital structure, about 260 million shares outstanding. We also importantly have about 20 million warrants which expire at the end of next month. These are well in the money today. They will bring in an additional $10 million of cash, which will then obviously increase our overall cash balance from the 11 million that we had at the end of September. I think for you, this also creates a real interesting opportunity. If you look at the amount of volume that's traded in the stock since the start of this year, there has been some pressure because of these warrants. We're starting to move through that, and I'd encourage you to go look at the trend that we saw in September as our warrants expired, and I think that creates a real interesting entry point for anybody in this room. Ghana, it is a tier 1 jurisdiction to be operating in. It is Africa's largest gold producer. It's the 6th largest gold producer globally behind Canada and the US. It's important for the economy, it's important for the tax base, but it also means there's a huge amount of skilled labor in country for us to leverage off of. But at the end of the day, don't listen to me, single asset, 100% biased CEO, but look at what the major companies are doing. We've currently got 4 of the top 10 largest gold producers on the planet, including Newmont, who's just put another $1 billion into the country, and highlights that their Ahafo project along trend from us is one of their cornerstone assets. So to have that concentration of investment into Ghana, I think speaks for itself in terms of what a tier 1 jurisdiction it is. One of the reasons for that investment and so many majors being in country is because it is incredibly well endowed from a mineral perspective. Some of the largest deposits on the planet, including Obuasi at 66 million ounces, Tarkwa at 25 million ounces. We're then on the Sefwi-Bibiani belt, great neighbors along trend from us. So when we talk about district scale exploration upside, this is one of the reasons. Chirano, 5.5 million. Bibiani, 6.5 million. There's Newmont's Ahafo mine at 20 million, and then directly on the other side of the border from us is Taraco with a 4 million ounce deposit. In terms of our project, looking at it in a little more detail, large land package, 248 square kilometers in size, 100 kilometers of shearing going through the project. We've identified 25 targets to date, of which only 5 make up our resource today. So again, this points to the district scale exploration upside. We are in the midst of a 45,000 meter drill program. We've been getting some very good results from this. We've already put a couple of press releases out this year. And one of the things I'll talk about is the opportunity at depth to add some very high grade and meaningfully impact our overall resource. A lot of the drilling that we've done to date has been focused on the shallower near surface open pit opportunity, and we've targeted the average vertical depth of our drill results today is about 100 meters. When you look at our closest neighbor in country, the Chirano mine, you'll see that they are mining down today at roughly 800 meters below surface. They've drilled down to 1.1 to 1.2 kilometers. So needless to say, at 100 meters, we've still really just scratched the surface. These results that we've put out so far in 2026 are starting to look at some of this deeper opportunity. Interestingly, if you look at Chirano from when they put out their first reserves on the project 20 years ago, the resource has grown by about 6.5 times. So that's the kind of impact that we can have with some of this drilling that we've been doing. If you look at our recent drill results this month, you'll see we've hit some very nice, wide, high-grade intercepts right below the pits, 3.5 grams over 23 meters. Again, here are the pits that constrain our resource. Below that, 3.2 over 17, sitting in a very wide mineralized zone. We've also had some extremely high-grade results on our project, which again, feed into our geological understanding that as we identify these high-grade feeder zones, we're going to start to prove out much bigger, higher-grade structures. Sitting here, 174 grams over a meter, 147 grams over a meter with the first ever visible gold on our project. Those results come from our Boeing deposit, which is our second largest deposit. And as you can see, we've started to identify where a number of these high-grade shoots potentially sit on our project. Those results that I was just highlighting come from this central zone, 3.2, 3.5, and here are those ultra-high grade results, 147 and 174, including that visible gold intercept that we've got. So drilling is a big focus for us. 45,000 meter program at the moment with the additional capital that's coming in over the next few weeks with those warrant proceeds. I would expect that we're going to expand the program well beyond the 45,000 meters and have results through the end of the year. Arguably, I would say that you get exploration for free today with Newcore. And that's because of the fundamental underpinning of value that we've got within the company, because of the PEA we put out, which we're now moving to a PFS. In 2024, we outlined a very simple open pit heap leach project. The full 340-page report sitting on our website, so I'd encourage you to go look if you like that level of detail. At a $3,000 gold price, 971 of after-tax NPV, 136% IRR, 122,000 ounces of production over a 9-year mine life. That compares to a market cap today of about US $140 million. So we're trading at roughly 0.15 times the NPV of the project, depending on what price you want to use. Our view is that as we de-risk it from PEA to PFS, we will command a much higher multiple from the market, and that's the fundamental re-rate opportunity that there is for everybody in this room. Beyond that, we could wake up tomorrow and find out that we've had even more high-grade results, which could drive the share price further. Last thing, with my 10 seconds, leverage to the gold price, which I assume everyone in this room is looking for. If you don't remember anything else, just remember this. For every $100 move in the gold price, our project adds roughly, after tax, US $50 million to the NPV of the project. So today, for every $100 move, we're adding roughly 30% of the market cap of the company. I'd encourage you to go to our website, have a look at what that means at 3,000 to 3,500, let alone what it means at 4,000 to 5,000. Thank you.